Welcome back, everybody. My name is All Fun and Games. I stream every single day on Twitch TV. I also upload tips and tricks on YouTube. I have beginner guides, etc., etc., etc. I also play a bunch of other games. So if you're ever interested in playing games like, Minecraft or Stardew Valley or Enter the Gungeon, games like that, feel free to join up with me anytime. I'm always welcoming new players to play with me. And my Worlds of Don't Starve Together are always open to anybody and everyone that wants to play with me. So that being said, let's talk about the video that I made back in September 16th. So if you remember that video, there is a link in the description where I basically showcased how, potentially how there could be a Terraria and DST crossover, how it looks like the collaboration between the two companies were most likely happening because of this leak that got out, which we don't know how, because it's been a while since I've ever seen like a leak happen from DST like this. And it was showcasing a brush, and the brush was known to be an item in Terraria. So they somehow managed to get this on the clay point system, and of course it's kind of spiraled into this like what if situation, because if you look back on the Twitter DMs between Clay and DST, they kind of referenced each other and said, I would like to collab. If I ever could collab with a company, it would be Clay. If I ever could collab with another company, it would be with Terraria. So it's kind of like, it was really interesting how there was a lot of back and forth information there, and from that we kind of guessed, and sure enough, we got red on the nose, and I'm sure other people did as well. I was not like I'm the only person that ever thought about that. So it's really cool to see that. And here are the posts from both companies. So let's start with Clay, because they were the first one to post it. So on the forums, Dark Lord made a post about the new update, and boom, this was included. Now the funny thing is that they go through this like, and finally, as a heads up, we have our seasonal events coming up. We also want to be super secret projects, so they're like super secretive, but then they reveal it. So it's like, obviously, if anybody's played Terraria, you can realize that there's a Deerclops walking through the woods in Terraria, which is pretty amazing. People that play Terraria are probably, if they do, so here's my thing. Actually, I'll go through it after. So this is obviously, like I said, Deerclops walking through the woods in Terraria. Very awesome. You click on the link. First of all, if you do click on this link, the gift that is in the forums, you can actually get free spools, free clay points, I should say. So make sure that you do that too. And then you head over to the Terraria forums, and look what we have here. Good afternoon, Terrarians. Just wanted to share a quick update on stuff the team has been doing. As we mentioned before, we're doing some Steam Deck optimization focused stuff, and that work is going quite well. ... Beyond that, we always say that we are done adding content to Terraria. Well, about that. Oh, wait, sorry, wrong game. Carry on, nothing to see here. Okay, so basically, Clay and the makers of Terraria, I should really get their name correct. But anyways, the makers of Terraria, they go through the process of basically exchanging gifts to each other and saying like, look, take this and do with it what you will. Post at the same time. This was posted at 7:11 on the forums. I believe they posted earlier on their Twitter page, and this was posted literally in the afternoon. So that being said, there's a few different post times between the two companies, but they're pretty much in sync. So what does that mean? What does this mean for Terraria and DST? Well, in my personal opinion, I think that what is going to go down is if you own both Terraria and Don't Starve Together, you will be able to unlock content on each of the games. Now, don't quote me on that because I don't know for sure, but that's what I would assume. Usually when companies like this do sort of like cross play between each other, not crossplay, but they collab with each other in certain ways. Usually you see something like, if you own both games, you will receive in-game content. You got to think of it the reason like this. They might give us all the free stuff and say, here you go, have a nice day. But they also have put a lot of time and effort into this, and time and effort costs money. And in order to get that money back, they are basically so when companies do this, they're cross promoting each other, right? So if you have 1 million people that follow Terraria, maybe 50% of those people, maybe 35%, whatever percentage, may not know what DST is, and vice versa, and all that stuff. So generally speaking, if you play DST, you know what Terraria is. If you know what Terraria is, you generally know what DST is. They're kind of like a hand-in-hand game. A lot of people that I've ever played DST with have always talked about how they really, really know what each game is, and they both play a lot. I personally don't play a lot of Terraria, but this is really making me intrigued to play Terraria because That's what it's meant to do, right? It's meant to bring you into the other game. So that's why I truly believe that in order to unlock the content, you would have to own both games. It would really help both companies, basically get back probably the money that they invested into actually this whole project. I don't know if that's for sure. Like I said, that's just my opinion on how it'll go down. The other thing is it could be a DLC purchase, which I don't know, because the thing that's going down is that a few things to consider is lore. There's a lot of people that are really really lore heavy on the DST category. So if you throw something like this into the mix without actually including it into the whole DST core group, I don't know how well that would play out, because people would be like, well, how does the Eye of Cthulhu just appear on the constant? How does this appear on the constant? Like, how does that make any sense? The only way that could actually play out is if they brought it into the lore somehow and said, oh yeah, here it is, like this is how it got here. Well, that would make sense. Okay, maybe they would maybe they would go deep down and think, okay, well, the Eye of Cthulhu was the one controlling like the moon and blah 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 blah. I don't know. That's something that's far deep down in the rabbit hole. But I seriously think to make it easy on them, they'll probably release some sort of thing where you have to, like I said, own both games, maybe a DLC. They might also release something where that says, okay, if you want these items in game, you have to go here and redeem this item, or blah 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 blah. I think with the fans from Terraria, the one thing that I've noticed is that they're like, you told us that you were done making updates, that you were all done, because they had Journey's End, right? Journey's End was like the big finale. It was like, goodbye everybody, we want to say goodbye. Thank you so much for playing our game. It was a very awesome thing. They had a huge blowout where anybody that was a large Terraria streamer got their own personal items in the game. We've seen that go down. It was a huge event. And now since then, they've released like 3 or 4 updates, and this being one of them. So, I don't know how they're gonna play into that much. If they're just gonna say, by the way, we brought you one extra thing by collabing with a company. Either way, I'm excited. Either way, I'm happy that we were right, because this is really cool. This is gonna breathe tons of fresh air into both games. What this does is, like I said, is it injects players that are from both categories, and it says, hey, look, you've never played DST before. Well, guess what? You've been playing Terraria a ton. Well, now there's Terraria content in DST. So if you want to play Terraria in DST, technically you can. Okay, you've been playing lots of vice versa, and like it just makes sense that they've done this, and it's such a cool idea. I'm so happy that these two companies are working together, because they both are very nice companies. Indie developers are so awesome for this. Somebody actually mentioned in my chat, would you ever see that maybe Minecraft would ever have DST stuff? Probably not. Microsoft and like these large companies would never work hand in hand with a smaller company. Maybe now because they're owned by Tencent, I have no idea, but it's rare that you see stuff like this, and when you do, it really really helps out both games. So I'm gonna say that when this finally launches, this is gonna be a huge boost in both categories, and you're gonna see lots of people that are interested in playing DST all over again, and it's gonna be a huge inject of life for both games. So I'm really excited. I'm glad everybody, got their wish and we were able to make it happen. So thank you so much, Clay. And thanks you so much for the creators of Terraria. You guys are amazing. Of course, I'm an avid DST player, but I always get asked all the time, play Terraria. This is going to be something that's going to drag me into the game. I hope that there's more than just the deer clops in Terraria. I hope they get more stuff added. They have like the lunar event that could be in there. They have they could throw Glommer in the Terraria. I mean, anything's possible at this rate. And I'm assuming if that was just a snippet, they're not going to just expose the entire thing. So that's why I think there's way more stuff than just the deer clops getting added into Terraria. Otherwise, they're just like, here, have it. And they basically expose everything, right? So that's what tells you that there's more content 100%. Because in the forum post, it says, we have lots of stuff to talk about coming in the future. Here's a small sneak peek. Well, they're not going to just say that's all there is, right? So there's definitely way more stuff out there. So stay tuned. I cannot wait. If you have any predictions, post them in the comments. But thank you so much for watching these videos, and I'll see you guys in the next one.